our next topic is going to be growing in the salon, and what we want to do with our guest is we want to delve right into where she started and then how she developed in the salon and then just growing through the ranks. But yeah, it gives me great pleasure in introducing my salon manager, Stacy.
Howdy do.
Hello, how are you?
I am very good. How are you both?
All good, all good.
Stacey, have you got your sound on something there?
Everything seems to be on. Can you hear me all right still or not?
Yeah.
I'm getting an echo. I don't know why.
Let me turn mine down. Can you hear me all right now?
I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Yeah, echo's gone as well.
Yeah, echo's gone as well. Yeah, cool. So hey, I'm getting professional now. I'm getting professional. I need an echo. Get rid of the echo.
Got your mic out, love.
Yeah. So Stace, so you're Paul's salon manager now, right?
I am indeed. Have been for about
meteoric rise to fame.
Yeah.
Oh, something like that.
So tell us a little about your journey, about what you did before you became a hairdresser, because you came to hairdressing a little bit later, right?
I did, yes. I was an old wise owl, is what most of the other apprentices on my course called me, because I was 25 when I started the course. So I just scraped an apprenticeship, realistically. Previous to that, I was working at our local police at the headquarters. I used to basically plan duties for firearms officers and special ops. So completely different to the beauty industry.
I must dovetail nicely what you do now.
I definitely prefer what I do now.
So how long were you there for?
So I was there. I started there when I was 24, left when I was 20. Started there when I was 21 and left when I was 24. So I had a bit of I think it was probably about 8 months or so gap. Went back to my first ever job working at Pizza Hut, just to kind of get myself back into.
There are other pizza outlets available. We must say that.
Oh dear. But yeah, worked at Pizza Hut full time and waited for an apprenticeship at the right place to come out, really.
So what made you decide to go and become an apprentice?
I couldn't face going full time back at a college. I think my age was kind of like lingering a little bit, that I was like, oh, I'm going to be around a bunch of 16-year-olds and are we going to have things in common and stuff? So I think that played on my mind a bit, but I'm a doer. So I really wanted to just jump into it. And I know that I can see something and replicate and do it. I'm very much, that's how I learn. Whereas textbook, in front of a computer all day, reading books and learning that way, that isn't the sort of learning style that I have. So I knew that doing an apprenticeship would be the best way for me.
So why hairdressing though?
Weirdly, my mum said to me to go into it for years and years, like you were talking about home versus salon. I was doing a lot of home box dyeing when I was younger, a lot of experimenting. I've been some horrendous colours through box dyes over the years, as a lot of my friends would say. And I've just been really interested in hair for a long, long time, probably since the age of 12, 13. I've always done my mum's hair as well. We used to have a highlighting cap at home and I used to pull her hair through bleachers and she'd do the same for me. So yeah, I've really had an interest in it for a long time. And I think when picking an apprenticeship and thinking about doing hair, it just really excited me. It was like, I feel like I have an internal passion for this, even though I've not really dived into it as like a course yet, and I was just like ready and eager to go, really.
And so how long have you been at Paul Watts?
Did we say 4 years? Nearly 5?
Nearly 5, yeah.
Nearly 5, which that time has just like flown by.
And so one of the things, like I've met you like you came down, right? We did the thing at my salon. That was probably about 6 months ago, maybe a bit longer.
July, wasn't it? June, July.
Is it July?
Yeah.
Okay, so July. So yeah, it's gone on for like 8-9 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's where we met properly. Then I came up to you and we did stuff at your salon as well.
Yeah.
And like you obviously had a passion for it. And you like, it was obvious if you show you something once, I always said, I'll show her this once, and you just did it straight off. Like there's no fuss, nothing. You just get on with it and you learn it and do it well. But one of those things that your motivation when you became working in a salon, what was your driver? Did you always want to become a salon manager, or did you want to just become the best like stylist? What was your plan? Did you have one?
Well, right at the start, I kind of didn't. I've never really thought about like show work or anything like that. Probably a lot of sort of self-doubt in my own ability is definitely always been there. But I've had a lot of support from Paul, and he's like shown me that I can do certain things, or I do certain things well. And I think when I was asked to be salon manager, I think I was still an apprentice.
Yeah.
And that spoke volumes to me, to be honest, because even though in my previous job I was a supervisor, so I know I can, go up the ranks. I wasn't sort of afraid to do that. But I think by still being an apprentice and then being asked to be a salon manager, he kind of said it's not about the hairdressing as such, but it's about the qualities that you have to become a manager in itself, which
100%.
for me was like amazing, because I was like, oh, okay, great. I have like different pockets of things that I'm good at, which is great. So for me, it was just more about, I want to collect different pockets of skills and then just sort of use that to sort of level up each year, basically. So I wouldn't quite say I had a plan as such. It's just more little tiny bits of knowledge that I want to gather along the way to hopefully then encourage myself to think I am better than I am.
Yeah, okay. So what were the obstacles you faced? What do you think what were the biggest obstacles, and what really kind of did you have any setbacks, and what did they look like?
Oh God, yeah. So when I was I went to college one day a week, and then the rest of the time I was in the salon. When I got to college, they said that obviously you have to have maths and English. And I had my English, but for maths, I got a D 3 times at my GCSE. So I did it 3 times at school. And that just nearly tipped me over the edge. If I'm quite honest with you, I had this mad panic that, right, if I'm not going to get this, I'm not going to pass. I'm not going to be able to, get a qualification. And that, honestly, that really hit me hard. And my mum had to be my big support and be like, pull yourself together, woman. Like, if you want to do this, so you're going to smash it and you're going to get it. No, I'm not going to do it. Like, I was in turmoil. That was the one thing that I hated. But, I sort of give myself a little bit of a slap and was like, right, come on. This is what you really need, and this is what you want. You have a passion for it. Don't let it stop you. So I just had to work with the teachers really well, just to say I need to learn it in a way that is with the subject that I'm doing. And that helped massively. So I had really good support from them. That enabled me to progress and be like, right, if I can pass my maths, I can do anything.
So you mentioned just a bit earlier that you sometimes have a bit of self-doubt and things, and you kind of be hard on yourself. Where does that come from then? Why do you I mean, Paul identifies that. I know he does. I'm close enough to know the conversations we've had that he has the same thing. Paul calls it imposter syndrome.
That's the one.
And also there's something that I had a lot of, even now, and I'm 40 years into my career, but even now, I've seen a really good video on this, actually. I'm gonna have to share it with you guys again, but that's off the topic. But what type of things? Where do you think that came from in you? Where did you get that imposter syndrome from? What manipulated that for you?
I feel like it's quite a hard thing to like pinpoint where, but I think the want and the need to always do better, I think is probably the forefront for me, which sounds conflicting, but it's probably because I know that I want to do better, and I know that I can always progress, always what's the word? Well, I could just always try new things to make myself better at what I'm doing. So because I know that I can do better, I think in the back of my head, I'm sort of sat there like, that's not as good as what it should have been. So it's almost, sort of the push to do more is always already there before I've achieved and, sort of looked at what I've achieved. So, it's a bit of a conflicting thing, but I feel like that's probably like at the forefront.
Paul, you've had this imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah, and we're like,
How did that? I mean, that, and I was we met like 4 years ago, whatever.
yeah.
And I was like, I just didn't get it, right? Because I even though I felt the same thing myself on many different levels, you don't come over across as that type of person. But how did yours manifest itself particularly?
Well, yeah, I'm not an anxious person. I don't really get like the sort of nerves and everything like that. But what I like, again, I started later on in age in getting to the hairdressing, and then I always felt like I was like, I didn't feel like I was overachieving. I felt I was in overachieving positions to my ability at the time. So getting onto like an artistic team when I'd only been start off after 14 months being asked by L'Oreal to be an educator, and then being like on an art team, then being a platform artist and stuff. And I'm just like, hang on a minute, like I just need to work out that I can do this.
And do the 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and that's always been the thing. Like my career, I feel like it's just been a big snowball from opening. Like we opened 6 salons in 7 years over that period of time, and I went from just working in a with a salon that didn't really push me to really not wanting that environment to be in my business, and for anybody in my business that wants to progress wherever they want to go. That's the environment I wanted to take people, but I needed to work out how I could stay that step ahead as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always think back to this. It's a Simpsons episode, and Marge Simpson, she was a piano teacher, and I always remember that she stayed one lesson ahead of her pupils, and that always like really resonates with me. I always go back to that and think, oh God, like if she could do that.
If I can stay one step ahead of my pupils, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's brilliant. It's genius, that, you know?
Yeah. So that was that. But again, like with Joico, I still class myself as like the newbie, and I still class myself as just like, oh yeah, not like maybe like, oh, not yet. But yeah, I mean, we're doing it. And imposter syndrome is a manifestation of you'll get found out. And I don't know what that getting found out is.
What is that?
Yeah.
No idea.
No.
But the fear is there.
Yeah, it's just something.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we just like I just we've had our new shots done, and we like Jill's had hers, me, you, David, Jill. We've had our new pictures done, right? And Sevda. And so we sent them this week. You said, "Oh, check your emails." I looked at it. Oh yeah, I made me so I put it out on socials, my new Joico picture, with the announcement that, you know, because we've all got new titles and now senior creative artist for
by the way.
Yeah, well, this is crazy because I don't feel I've actually elevated it. I'm still the same person, if you know what I mean. So I put out the thing, introducing, you know, senior creative artist for Joico Europe, Middle East and Africa, right? And I just said thank you to everybody who's been involved. Thank you to everybody who supported me along the way, and I'm really grateful. And I generally am grateful. I got too many people, cast of thousands of people to thank, right? And then my Insta, my Facebook just lit up with so many people. Congratulations, this and I'm like, I feel like I'm a bit of a fraud because I'm doing the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And actually, it's even that has taken me to acknowledge the congratulations. Even that I found has been hard because I just feel like, oh, do I really deserve this?
Yeah,
I'm getting loads of good, and like, but you know, it's been 13 years in the making. I've been there for 13 years, and I've done my time, and I've hopefully contributed a lot to the brand and the people in the brand, and I've worked with some great artists, and I've helped improve young artists, and you know, wherever I can, I try to leave people feeling better having been in their presence than worse. Do you know, leave them with a little bit of knowledge, something, even just a little bit, you know, to help them on the journey or whatever that is. You know, I've worked with you many times. That's my overall thing, and then I like to slip into the background. You know, like that's me. Like I could never do this on my own.
Mm.
I could only do it with a group or with you or whatever. Because I really enjoyed the camaraderie, the teamwork, and all that.
Yeah.
In fact, I recorded a really couple of pieces today to camera on my own, which is a hell of a challenge even now.
Well, yeah, I mean, talk to Stacy about that, because what I always want to go with Stacy, so like she's like I said, salon manager as an apprentice, but just shown everything of the what qualities you want as somebody who like can organise and everything. But to the next step is obviously YouTube, what I was just about to get onto, talking to camera and everything. But like stage presence and everything like that is something that I really want to help you with. But you, like, when was it? Salon International? Like you were on HJ stage.
Scary.
Hairdresser's Journal. Yeah. How did you find that, Stace, going on to the Hairdresser's Journal stage, which is probably the biggest there in Salon International?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and yeah, it was nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. I think the scariest thing for me was, and I mean, Paul kind of put it in perspective as well, that he sort of waited. Was it like, would you say, 15 years to try and get on the stage, and I'd only been like, you know, doing it for 4 or what have you at that time. So I was a little bit like, okay, right, we've got this. So yeah, nerve-wracking it was, but that's because I felt that I was showing people things that I do normally in a salon that they, of course they know. All these people know how to tong hair and stuff. But then like as you're actually going around and stuff and listening to conversations, you find that that's not the case. Like there could be someone that has been hairdressing for 20, 25 years in, you know, maybe a small town or something that doesn't get a lot of new clients in that want new different things. They're very much, you know, shorter haircuts and perms or what have you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's the case that they're not leveling up. So they don't know different techniques. And that's what I kind of gained from being on stage, was that it doesn't matter what level that I'm at, I've been given the opportunity and just need to kind of run with it really. But yeah, nerve-wracking it was.
Yeah, it was funny because I just on the radio today, there was an interview with some guy, Luke, somebody or other, who Ed Sheeran called out of the audience to play a duet with him last night. And it was unprepared, it was unrehearsed and thing. But listen to this guy, and he said, I just realized at the time, what an opportunity. This is a massive opportunity. And I'm going to take it because there's been so many people who've supported me, like throughout my journey to become a performing artist. And I owe it to them to actually take this opportunity, you know? And I think that is, like, it was phenomenal. You did the same thing, but he's on YouTube. If you put probably Ed Sheeran calling Luke up on stage, it's gone live today, and apparently this guy's doing the rounds of interviews on stage. But it's supposed to be fantastic, so I'm going to listen to it myself later. And Jill just talking to the camera. I've got a great tip for this. Actually, I shared it today with Lauren, one of my team. We were talking. I found to the camera. I've told you, Paul, and I've told you my trick. So I always find when you
told you my trick.
Oh yeah, when you talk to camera, and you're the picture of my wife, but when you talk to your camera and you're looking at yourself on the screen, it's very, very distracting. So, you know, for instance, have a look. If I go here, I can film you now, no problem, and all I can see is what's going on the screen. But if I flip it round to myself, it's like it's you can't even see because I'm there. But I don't like looking at myself. So what I do now is I put my camera on a stand, I frame the picture, and then I time the picture to take a picture of and I go sit in the space. 3, 2, 1, get the picture, come back. Oh, look at the picture. That's good framing. That's okay. I'm happy with that. Then flick it to video, and then I just talk to this. I never have the camera this way. Yeah. I do it this way. And I can talk to the back of my phone way easier than I can talk to my screen.
I wonder why that is, though. Why our brains go, oh, look, there's me. And then, and you look freak out. Like,
I think often because you're always your own worst critic. So you look at, my hair's right. I look tired. Oh, my collar's up. Oh, I just, I don't like the way I look. Oh, my God, I look drained. I look tired. And you're trying to give information out, but in the back of your mind, you have all these different these different stories running, which are distracting you. So if you turn it around, it's just this. It's just that you can't see, and there's no distraction. You're talking to the 3 lenses, and that makes a big difference to me personally. I did that with Lauren today, so she recorded something, and she found it so much easier to do that way.
What did she record?
I don't know what she's called. I just said go in there and do a piece to camera, and I wanted to get familiar with it,
Yeah.
So because she's doing a lot of Instagram at the moment and doing really well, actually, she's putting together some really nice reels, and I just said next step for you is YouTube, and explained why I've become a convert to YouTube and why my energy's there. And Stacy, your YouTube is up right now, so do you want to tell everybody what your YouTube is and how it's going?
I mean, I can't remember what my handle is. I think it's on
No
there.
way.
No, well, it's because I can't generate a thingy one yet, so YouTube generates one for you. I can't remember what my
there it is.
Oh, it's down there, isn't it? Yeah, there we go, down there.
Awesome. Yeah,
no, I do enjoy it. I just need to get into a routine. I think that's probably the best thing for me. Like, I like to be organized. I don't like to do anything half-heartedly either. So I just need to make sure I'm organising my time in the day to sort it out. I mean, the other day I had a little bit of a gap, so I ended up filming 2 different videos, which I'm then going to obviously break down and stuff for the shorts. So it's just about, for me personally, managing my time properly to be able to put my all into it. Try my best.
But your shorts are really good, and the videos I've seen, because obviously I've subscribed to your channel anyway as soon as you started, because like when I started my channel was the time that you'd come to the salon, I'd been to yours. Paul was on my back to start one, and so I was trying to get you to start as well, because I didn't want to be the only one, and you were more stubborn than me, basically. That was the answer. But I think one thing I learned all along is, give anybody a tip, is consistency is massive. Have to be consistent, and like I said earlier on, it's addictive. Like, I really enjoy filming stuff now, and I'm having more fun with it. I still get like I talked to you yesterday, Paul, didn't I? I said, oh my God, I've like my views have gone down by a couple of thousand, good few thousand.
Numbers.
And my numbers. And Paul just said, forget about the numbers. Keep doing what you enjoy and keep doing this way, and you'll find your way again. It'll come back. It's just the algorithm. It's just this. But I think because I always take things to heart, I was like, oh my God, is that it? Is it a flash in the pan? Because I grew so fast, I think.
Yeah.
And now the growth has slowed down a little bit. Hi, Louis. So I think that my growth was phenomenal. Like, it just blew me away, really. And I was saying to Paul, is this normal? Is this how you do it? And but I got on board at the different time. When I got on board with YouTube, shorts weren't monetized, but they were going to be. But they announced that like 3 or 4 months before they planned to monetize shorts. So Paul just said, look, get on shorts. That's where you need to go right now and concentrate on shorts. So that's all I did was shorts for like a while, and they worked. Like, I remember posted my first or second short with Paul. We were on the same flight, mate. I don't know where we were going. We were on the same flight. We sat down. I literally posted it in the lounge. Gone on board the plane, got in, just strapped in, put my seatbelt on, chatted, opened my phone up. 30 minutes later, I looked at my phone, and it was like 5,000 views.
Yeah.
And do you remember that?
Yeah,
and you looked at me, he's like, what? I was like, what?
What's going on?
And it was. And it was like, you are kidding me. Like 5,400 views, I think, in 30 minutes. And even Paul was shocked, like, what? And then when we looked at YouTube, my video was on the shelf, like on the main thing. I was like, oh my God, like, is this what it's about? And then I still didn't know what it was. And again, I had guidance from Paul, but do this, do that, and I follow that up with this, and follow this up, and all the tools. I mean, I just take on board the things I can do, learn that bit, and then when I'm ready, I'll go on to the next bit. I don't try and learn it all at once.
Yeah.
Like I've now started my editing, and I edit different. I do overlays, which I've never done before, voiceovers, changing the transitions, all that type of stuff. Even I'm okay on a phone, but on a PC, I'm not so good. But now I explained. You showed me last week. We did it together, and now I'm like, oh, okay, right. So I went back through it, Paul. So what I need to do today is like do this, press that button, go there, and then just drag it across, right? Yeah, that's all you need to do. Got it. Like, and once it's in, and I just need to do it a couple of times. I don't know if you find the same thing with your channel the way you're growing, but your videos are really slick.
Thanks. I'm just, I think going back to sort of wanting to like master things as well. It's that I don't want to do something rubbish. So like, again, I'm going to be my own worst critic and be like, right, no, start that over again. But really, I think because it is so small at the moment, I think I just need to get that out of my head and just
I think it's right, because
in time. Do you know what I mean?
I think what you say about perfectionism, Paul, it kind of destroys creativity or something.
Yeah.
So perfectionism destroys creativity, and I think that what I replaced that with was a mantra which I used, is that progress is better than perfection.
And
so I like that.
Look for progress, not perfection. So if you've done a video, or you've done a to camera, or you've done a reel or something, is it better than the last time, or have I added something to that which is more than I added to the last time? Have I layered it up? Then I'm making progress. It's not perfect, but I've got better. Got better than my last one. And that's all you can do really, is look for progress, not perfection, because perfectionism kills creativity. And like Paul said, a great thing to me was go on your phone, load up some videos with it when you got time. Don't even worry what they are. Then play with them. Just fiddle around, find out what all the buttons are for, find out what this does, what that does, work with that. And I did that like one weekend, about 2 weeks ago. And I just played around with the video, and I was like, and I learned so much about the apps and the tools I'm using just by doing that, which now lets me do overlay, which now lets me play with the volumes of the sounds I put on. It now lets me do voiceovers and kill the sound when I need to speak. It's all those things that I couldn't do before.
Yeah.
And then I use a new app for music. Like, and now I know to get that on my phone and your files, out my file into that.
You're a tech guru now.
Yeah, but it's not. But I could show somebody.
I
think I could show people easily, because I struggled with this so much. So I found the easiest way to do it. You know, I want to make it easy as possible. I don't want to make any hard work. And I think one of my clients, I filmed a video today, and one of my clients said, "Oh God, it's a lot. Like, you filmed all that haircut, and how long will that take you to do?" And I said, about 3 minutes to edit now. You know, like on my phone, it might be rudimentary and it might be basic, but I can get some pretty good stuff out of there in a 3 minute edit. You know, and speeding it up and changing the pace and stuff, which only I learned to do about 2 weeks ago. So you now see my videos speeding up, full length videos speeding up.
You learned to do that. We were in the taxi. That was Tuesday.
No way.
I've used it multiple times since.
Yeah.
And now I'll speed that up. I want to cut this. I want to bring this video down to 8 minutes instead of 14, and speed these sections up. And I know to identify the sections, pull them down, put the music on, then change the volume of the music, then change to a voiceover or whatever. And I can do all that. And this is cool. And I'm going to add an overlay, So using the tech is kind of there, but so progress, and I now need to transfer. So I'm now transferring into long form.
Yeah.
Because that's where I want to start going. So that's why I had to do stuff with the camera today, which I'm not so comfortable of. And now I'm going to go. So that's the next step. And then with long form, I'm now going to start using the PC more and using my computer, because I can probably do more with my computer. I can use more editing tools and stuff like that, and do a bit more with it than I can on my phone. So that's the next step. But I've already started the long form on Paul's advice. Mate, get onto long form. That's where you need to be now.
Well, the reason like you started shorts was because YouTube were really pushing shorts, and they're still pushing shorts, but their next big thing, which is going to be over the next sort of like, so all I do now is sit at home and I watch these YouTube experts that predict these trends, or they just break down the biggest things. So when I was telling you guys to get on shorts, there was all these people who were breaking down shorts into how to do whatever, and I was just relaying it to you. And then now the biggest thing that is happening within YouTube is YouTube have seen short form content actually drop off because of TikTok and everything. So now they are going into podcast, because I think there's like 43.5 million YouTube channels, something like that. And then, but there's only 70,000 podcasts, active podcasts. So they've actually created a podcast button, and
hence
the podcast. So, and all you've got to do is, if you do a talk to camera and you set it to podcast, YouTube now going to be pushing podcasts. So that's the next thing to jump on, which is why.
Yeah. So not only that, but like before this podcast, also in lockdown, we did create another podcast, right, Paul?
Well, we did, yeah. And it was created and born out of boredom, wasn't it? No, but not just that. We wanted to connect with.
Yeah, we were both at home. You were in Kettering, I was in Cardiff, and we spoke pretty much every day. We put the world to rights all the time.
Yeah.
And we wondered what else was going on, because you were kind of in your own bubble. You didn't literally get to speak to anybody. You know, you were divorced from your friends and your friendship groups because you couldn't see them. So we wanted to connect with our friendship groups. So I know, let's do something. Paul said, let's do something. And I said, yeah, okay, we did a couple of Instagram lives, didn't we, first? That's how we started.
Yeah.
And then we said, how do we invite people on? I mean, it was so funny and because we could only have 2 people on screen at the time. And then so Paul would be on screen talking live, and I would be on his shoulder on a PC. That's the only way I could do it, was dial in on a PC. Do you remember, Paul?
Yeah, so we Zoomed each other, and then you were here, and then we were in conversation with whoever.
Yeah, I was like a parrot on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And then he came out after about 4 or 5 episodes of that. He said, "Oh my God, I found this new tool. It let 3 people on." That was StreamYard, right?
Yeah, this launched in lockdown. Like Zoom, obviously their stock went from whatever it was to like 900% or whatever. It grew that much because of working from home. And then StreamYard happened, and it was quite affordable. Still is. Yeah. I think it still is very affordable now, but they had a free option. So we started off with the free option, and then we just progressed, and then just did YouTube.
Yeah. It's been bonkers. But like, we speak every day, right?
Unfortunately,
yeah, like multiple times a day. Always.
I can always tell when he's on the phone to you, though, Ian.
Why is that?
Because I'm like this.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He's head in his hands. I've told him this 4 times already. Get it in.
Yeah. On that note, so Stace, one last question then for you. What's the future for you then?
Ooh, I don't really think it sounds crazy. I don't really think too far ahead in the future, because I like to live in the moment more.
Oh, you're so new age.
Yeah, well, live in the moment. Obviously, I'd love my socials to rocket, but that's obviously going to be based on my own efforts, which is my new goal, I suppose, to have more effort in what I actually want.
I would say 100%.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, hurry up.
100%.
So yeah, probably socials is probably my new target of this year, really. In terms of hairdressing in general, just try and level up as much as I can throughout the year.
Yes, listen, you've got things that the one thing you've got, I think, over everybody I've ever worked with, I think it's more unusual in the industry now, is that you've got a fantastic attitude you can't train.
Yeah,
that's good. That's above everything. With your attitude, you'll always succeed because you are willing to break new things and go forward. That is a massive, massive testament to yourself, and you should always remind yourself of that, because there's something you can't train. You can't train somebody's attitude. I can train hairdressers. I can train them how to cut hair, how to color hair, put hair up. All those things are trainable with the skills, but you can't train them with the attitude to want to do those things. And I know that you've got that in abundance. And I know ever since I've met you that you have a super bright future. And whatever it is you do and whatever direction you choose to go in, you will be successful. But just be consistent and be patient and just keep on doing your best and keep progressing every day.
I'll try my best. Thank you. Very kind words there.
Like a true guru. Do you hear that then? I read it. I got it written down here. I read it. So it's brilliant. That's awesome. Making videos is brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah, I see clients left it, and like you've got to find your niche, and I think you do great how-tos, filming yourself doing hair and doing. I think they're great. Like they really are good.
Yeah. See, that's the thing you've got over me and Ian.
Yeah, you've got hair.
Yeah, and you can like as much as like we can engage people with a mannequin. There's nothing better than people want to see like maybe like
real life experience.
Yeah, like you can show people how to blow dry their hair at home. You can show people how to tong their hair at home. You can show how to do a put up at home. Like we
that might be my next video.
Your next video?
I've got a tong one, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Cool. And that's cool. Like that, and I think that's it. That people are more interested in how you do it and how they can copy it than us doing it on something which is like a one step removed. So you've got that, and you've got those skills as well, just to give people those tips and those hints that they maybe wouldn't have thought of.
I think it's like tips with the awkwardness of doing it yourself at home.
Yeah.
Because, being a hairdresser, you're above someone's head. So you've got all the mobility around the entire head. Whereas when you're sat at home and you can't use both of your hands. Like I'm right-handed. So doing it the opposite side, I'm like, wait, what am I doing? What side am I going? So I think that's probably like the worst bit about doing it yourself.
And I think that's the time maybe to flick the camera around. So you're not looking on the screen, you're just doing it to the camera because that becomes more natural. But when you're looking, it's like, hang on, you're trying to do it to the screen, like use the mirror. Actually, if you had the camera facing the other way, just the camera facing you, and looking in the mirror and just did it that way, I'm sure it'd be less distracting and easier for you to do.
I mean, you say that, but I'm still one of them people that even though I'm a hairdresser, looking in the mirror myself, I'm like, wait, hold on, because doing it on someone else's head is completely different.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. So well done, and like congratulations on starting your channel, and it is growing. So you're getting there, and just keep
nearly hit 50 now.
I know. I did see that the other day. I was like,
what you on now?
Oh, not as much as you, Ian. I'm nearly on 50.
That's awesome. So the first 100's the hardest to get to.
Oh, yeah.
The first 100.
And I reckon after tonight, you're going to get a bunch.
Oh, you're on 50?
I have got 50. Woo!
Awesome. Congratulations. Get yourself a drink tonight for that.
Oh, I will. No, I'm joking.
But well done, Stace. And thanks for coming on. Speaking to me and Paul. I'm sure we'll have you on again in the near future.
That sounds good to me.
Well, when we do our training, what we'll do is, Stacy did say, when I come down to your salon again, she wants to come down again. And we'll have to all do a video together.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, really good.
That sounds good to me.
Proper video. So thanks, Stace, once again. It's really appreciate you coming on.
That's all right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Great insights. Adios.
Bye.
And I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.